This is actually the highlight of our day, but it's almost sunset and we spent most of the day in Waco, which I drove a stupid amount out of my way and dedicated all this time to go see Waco because just like Laurel, Mississippi, remember that? My girlfriends just had to see Waco because of that reality show that shall not be named. I did get to go see the Texas Ranger Museum, and that was amazing because you all know that I'm a huge advocate for law enforcement, and these guys were the original badasses. In 1823, 10 men, just 10 men, were hired to push the Indians out and back off the frontier. They were called Rangers, America's oldest law enforcement agency. The original group was mostly recruited off their farms. To be a ranger, you had to be keenly accurate with a gun, while on horseback, and you had to know the land. Farmers had the perfect resume. Going on historical photos alone, you also had to have a majestic mustache and be rather dashing. There were no uniforms, and really the rules were made by them when they came to town. The Rangers grew and eventually became an established police force. Their ferocious fighting and take-no-prisoners approach made them either beloved or hated by the public. They took down criminals like Bonnie and Clyde and solved cases no one else could. A ranger once deployed to a riot all by himself famously said, "One riot, one ranger." Over the years, their role has changed and the agency has polished up, now with the classic white cowboy hat as standard. Today, the Texas Rangers are still considered the elite and the very best of the best in law enforcement. That was great, but Waco, I just expected, because I've seen this reality show that shall not be named, and I get it, they're trying to sell a show, they're trying to sell their host, that's fine. But just like Laurel, I got into Waco and I was like, where the hell is everything? I mean, it was urban sprawl city, and I don't think anybody traveled to Waco deliberately until that show came to be. So I went to the historic neighborhoods that I could find, and I was asking people, where's the center of the city? Where's the historic district? And they just kind of were like, well, you can go see the Chip and Joanna houses. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is Laurel all again. Anyway, I buttoned it up for the night, and then in the morning I went to see the silos, which is people from all over the country travel to see the silos. And I'll tell you what, I will rearrange my life if I can make as much money as they're making selling $15 grilled cheeses just because I smacked it next to some silos. To be fair, two people who have this big of a vision and who brought it to life deserve a lot of credit. But packed with people eager to Instagram anything they could find with shiplap, I have to get the hell out of here. You know what sounds great after this handbag and selfie festival? A ghost town. A town with no people, just ghosts. Let's go. Welcome to Thurber, Texas. The smokestack seen from the highway is the only notice you'll get that you've arrived. There's no welcome sign because the more than 8,000 people that used to live here are gone. Thurber was a rocking coal mining town in the late 1880s, and people from all over the world came here to start a life. The town's brick factory churned out 80,000 bricks a day. There were schools, churches, stores, houses, even an opera house. In the 1920s, railroad engines started using oil, and an oil deposit was found outside of town. The mines closed, the factories closed, and Thurber died. Rumor has it that a lot of the buildings that were here were deliberately burned to force the workers to follow the work. Apparently, there's still 400 feet of coal underneath the smokestack that may one day still be mined, but for now is just sitting here. Today, all you can see are what's left of the few decaying buildings. A small nearby restaurant is where you can see Thurber's story hanging on the walls. I waited until dusk to find the cemetery and the abandoned church, but frankly, I was the strangest thing in Thurber that night. No ghosts. So let's follow the Thurber Brick Road east to another haunted town that is legitimately crazy.